Welcome to Huddleston Bolen. Today, we'll be featuring Kevin Nelson, a partner in the firm's Charleston, West Virginia office. Kevin's practice is focused on employment law, First Amendment law, and professional liability defense. The focus of today's presentation is unpaid internships and if they're a violation of minimum wage requirements. For decades, unpaid internships have been common in the American workforce. InternBridge, a firm that conducts research on internships, estimates that undergraduate students work in more than 1 million internships a year, half of which are unpaid. That all may change. A June 2013 ruling by the Federal District Court of New York brought into question the long-held practice of unpaid internships for college students.
When is an intern an employee? According to the Department of Labor, an intern can either be an employee or a trainee. Private sector interns who are considered to be employees must be paid minimum wage and overtime.
The U.S. Department of Labor offers some guidance. Interns are likely to be considered trainees, not employees, and therefore do not require compensation when the internship is similar to training, which would be given in an educational environment. The internship experience is for the benefit of the intern. The intern does not displace regular employees, but works under the close supervision of existing staff. The employer that provides the training derives no immediate advantage from the activities of the intern, and on occasion, its operations may actually be impeded. The intern is not necessarily entitled to a job at the conclusion of the internship. The employer and the intern understand that the intern is not entitled to wages for the time spent in the internship. If you meet these criteria, the internship may be unpaid.
So those are the Department of Labor's guidelines with regard to unpaid internships. Let me tell you a little bit about a specific case involving Fox Searchlight and interns that were on its set for the production of the film Black Swan. In that particular case, the interns were unpaid and eventually sought payment for unpaid wages from Fox. The case made its way to the United States District Court in New York, and in that particular situation, the judge weighed what tasks the interns had been performing against the Department of Labor's guidelines to determine whether they in fact should have been paid. The duties that the interns performed were primarily menial tasks: making coffee, making photocopies, watermarking movie scripts. Well, if you recall, the first criteria to be considered under the Department of Labor's guidelines is whether the internship occurs in an educational setting. And the court looked at those tasks and considered them to be primarily menial and the types of things that people would learn through on-the-job training rather than in an educational setting, and determined that they failed to meet the first criteria provided in the DOL guidelines. And that's the second criteria under the DOL guidelines, and it determined that Fox, not the interns, benefited primarily from the internship. The interns have to primarily benefit from the relationship in order to be unpaid. But the court found in this particular case that because the interns were actually performing tasks that normally Fox would have to pay regular employees to perform, that as a result, Fox and not the interns benefited primarily from the relationship. And of course, that finding also goes to the DOL's third criteria, whether the interns are displacing regular employees. And it found, in fact, in that particular case, that the interns were performing work that otherwise regular employees would be performing. The interns did benefit some, and the court recognized that. They were able to place the jobs on resumes. They were able to gain references for future jobs. But on balance, the court found that that did not outweigh the benefits to Fox and found that they should be paid employees. According to the court, to qualify as an unpaid internship, the internship should be designed to be uniquely educational to the interns and of little utility to the employer. The internship program should resemble an academic setting or a vocational school. Based on the Department of Labor guidelines and decisions like the Fox case, there are now clear liability risks associated with unpaid internships. In addition to the Fox case, there have been a number of other instances where companies were sued for their internship programs. In 2012, PBS paid approximately $110,000 to settle a class action suit filed on behalf of unpaid interns of Charlie Rose's show. Similarly, in 2013, unpaid interns sued Sean Combs, MTV, Fox Soccer Channel, Warner Music Group, Nickelodeon, MSNBC, Saturday Night Live, Gawker, and the Pittsburgh Power Arena football team, among others, for unpaid wages. Condé Nast, which had one of the most coveted internship programs in its industry for years, closed its internship program in 2014 after former unpaid interns brought a lawsuit against the company. It's not just high-profile media companies that are being targeted. At least 2 other unpaid internship lawsuits, both of which are still in the beginning stages of litigation, have been brought against a law firm and a public relations firm. Even the White House, which legally has unpaid interns because it is in the public sector, has felt pressure from critics of unpaid internships to change its program. The threat of litigation should cause all employers to look seriously at their internship programs to determine whether or not they are truly internships and whether or not the people that are working for them should be paid. Here are 3 specific things to look for with regard to your program and whether or not your interns can be unpaid. First, there's no such thing as free labor, even if an intern says that he or she is willing to work for free. Second, when you substantially benefit from an intern's work, then the intern is likely to be considered a paid employee, even if the intern gains valuable work experience along the way. Third, interns should be paid when they are performing tasks that normally would be performed by paid employees. An unpaid internship may be appropriate if, first, routine employees take time away from their normal duties to supervise and train the interns. Second, employers impede their own productivity to offer opportunities to an intern that would not be available to regular employees. For example, where an intern job shadows a regular employee but performs little to no productive work. And finally, regular employees take time from their regular work to describe their careers or teach interns how to perform some of their specific work functions. If you have questions about your unpaid internship, we encourage you to contact an employment lawyer who can discuss with you what tasks an unpaid internship may entail. Again, I'm Kevin Nelson, a partner at Huddleston Bolen. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.